How you doing, Sag? See what got for you. The Celtic Cross for Sagittarius, the Empress. Taking care of house and home. The Empress is the mother of the tarot. She embodies all of the qualities of the queens. Page in reverse. 2. Bear with me. This is not a newer deck, but I just don't use it all that much. So let me just put everything out before I interpret. So I won't get, not everything, but majority. I won't get too ahead of myself. So, taking care of house and home. You could be a mother. If not, you're definitely in the nurturing mode, taking care of everything that you need and everyone that you are responsible for. You embody all of the good traits of all the good and all of the powers of all of the other queens that are out there. What crosses you is the Page of Oysters in reverse. So this is someone who lacks any kind of movement. Maybe you feel stuck right now. Maybe you lacked any kind of communication or feeling like you're not moving forward, feeling blocked, or somebody feels blocked from you. Maybe you've been waiting on a message about a movement, or you've been wanting to send one out, but none is coming. None withstanding is on its way. But you seem to be taking it in stride. If you're not stressed, it is what it is. If it comes, it doesn't. If it does, then you would deal with it. But either way, regardless if something comes in or not, you're just taking care of everything that you need to do. You're keeping yourself busy. Foundation, Death in reverse. A lack of an ending, a lack of a transformation. This is something that came out of definitely something that ended or failed to transform. Maybe wants to come back within your energy. Maybe somebody wants to pull a Lazarus and come back from the dead, come back from a relationship that you have cut off from the past. Now, the past is Queen of Swords. Yeah, the Queen of Swords, she's usually depicted as a divorcee or widower. I wouldn't say she's cruel or mean. She's just extremely perceptive. She learns by experience, and she is observant. And she's not afraid to cut away any people, places, or things that do not serve her. Perhaps in the past you have realized something, you have seen something, and you've become aware of something. Maybe something or a dynamic that tries to keep coming back from the past and tries to come back into your energy, but you have gained some kind of clarity within the situation. Now, Five of Wands, this is conflict. Triangulation, this is competition. Your goals, your conscious awareness, the best that can be accomplished at present. This is weird that this is your goals. Your goals, your conscious awareness, the best that can be accomplished at present. You feel like you feel a need to stand up for your rights, your beliefs, you know, have your voice be heard. Maybe in the past you have felt that you were silenced or unheard. A lot of people who have been trying to compete with you, or definitely some sort of triangulation situation. You definitely want to stand up for yourself, and you're trying to defend your position towards anyone who wants to come within your space. Because you've seen the truth to something, and you have cut this person off in the past, and it looks like they would like to come back in your energy and, you know, offer you a new emotional beginning. Maybe you're walking away from this past situation because it was so much conflict. Even if they try to come back into your space, you're ready for something new. Now, how you see yourself, your personal strengths and weaknesses, an individual perspective of you. Wheel of Fortune. This is how you see yourself. You're starting a new cycle, a new paradigm, a new turn of the wheel. Possibly you're feeling a lot more lighter and unburdened now that you're cutting away the extra rigmarole, if that's what they would call it, like all of the extra scraps. And you are only dealing with reciprocal situations. You're starting only new things, no longer returning to past situations, regardless if they want to come back into your energy or not. And you feel like things are starting to work in your direction a lot more than it used to be. Maybe not in the perfect space that you are in now, but it's something that you're trying to work on, and you're feeling a lot more centered and a lot more optimistic than you had in the past. Now your environment, how they see you. Knight of Cups. Now they see you ready to offer your cup to someone else or to something else. Maybe it's someone who is still interested in you and they're worried that you're getting away, and possibly that you have someone else into your life, and that's why you've cut them off in the past. But it doesn't seem like you're doing much. Seems like you're just kind of keeping to yourself and working on the things that you have, because you're done with the conflict and you're done with people who is so willing to brush you aside or devalue you or minimize you, that you're not willing to feed any kind of energy who kind of presents you a certain way. You're not ready to feed it. If it's not reciprocal, it's not balanced, you know, if they're super needy, exploitative, manipulative, you're not having it. And you're not just going to accept their kind of reality that they put on you, because I feel like in the past that you did. You accepted all of their past criticisms and perhaps side conflicts. Perhaps there was crap talking behind your back. And perhaps you're willing to stand up for yourself. If anyone tries to, use you as a scapegoat or have you responsible for any of their issues and also make you responsible for fixing them, even though, because, they're adults, they're responsible for their own lives, and you're definitely not a Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It, and you're not going to accept that role anymore. You're starting off to something new. Now, in the past, maybe you continue to have a lot of conflicts because there were some situations or relationships that was supposed to end but didn't. And all it ever did was bring you a lot of conflicts because you always kind of went back thinking it would be better this time, but it never was. And now you saw the truth. That it wasn't going to change, that this dynamic together or within these similar situations, it never improves. And maybe it's something to ask yourself on how did you contribute or show up within this relationship that kind of mirrors a certain dynamic that brought this out. Something to ask yourself, regardless if it was mainly this person gaslighting you and all of that, or kind of like expecting a lot more from you because you've never kind of spoke your truth into your preferences on how often you would like to go out, or if you should go out at all, or if you would drive there, or who would pay the bill, things like that. Maybe you were looking to be seen as someone so agreeable that you kind of stepped on your own toes in the meantime. And when you did say something, you kind of let it be known. Or they let you know. And something definitely ended because of it. Page of Swords. Somebody's going to come in with a message of truth. That's King of Swords in the reverse. The outcome, what you'll gain from the experience, the reward, the quality or tool that will help you achieve a breakthrough. This is the King of Swords in the reverse. This is someone who is not saying something in particular. This is someone who is impulsive, who doesn't think before they say or do, can be quite cutting, who can manipulate with communication or lack thereof. I would say King of Swords in the reverse is definitely someone who is negative, exploitative, manipulative, someone who has a narcissistic energy. And it seems like if you're going to deal with this person again, it's going to bring about the same situation. They see you moving on. And so maybe they want to come and contact you again. And perhaps you have some words for them. But I'm letting you know, if you're going to let this person back, you're just going to get more of the same, because this person has a deep need for control And it seems like they are a high conflict and high drama person, and wherever they go, it brings a lot of drama. It's time to put an end to past situations that were high conflict and start anew. This Page of Swords in reverse is someone definitely to look out for. And you put an end to it in the past for a reason, and I think that reason is still holds. Perhaps you're angry about something. I don't know. What's underneath is a Hierophant. Now, you're guarding yourself from this past energy. You're taking care of your own. And maybe somebody ghosted you in the past, but you know, like, you're fine with it because this person brought a lot of drama into your life, and perhaps you didn't put an end to it in the past, and that's why it just continually caused problems within your life, thinking it would change. It's not going to change. You saw this. You saw it wasn't going to change. And that's why you left for something new. It's like a blessing in disguise that this person ghosted you. And it actually brought you into a much better place emotionally, mentally, financially, in every single way. And that's how you know that you made the right decision. Did your life improve when this person left your life? Or, you know, and if it does automatically improve, then you know that you made a right decision, you know. And you will, because you're starting something new, something that will really fulfill you emotionally, and something that will bring you abundance, because you already feel a lot more lighter and abundant and centered. You're ready to start a new cycle, a new turn of the wheel. Somebody sees you as moving on, and somebody's really upset about it. Somebody has some certain words for you, angry words, and will bring a lot of conflict. And they're going to lash out in anger because they have a bone to pick with you that you have left. And perhaps you've learned this. You've had a spiritual learning, a spiritual growth, that you no longer fit with this energy anymore. That you know what it's going to bring about, and this is something that you can't fix or improve on, and you're not willing to let this person come in and control you or your life or triangulate you or gaslight you, because you are focused more on your own spiritual side of life. If the social aspect is lacking, then what good is having those social relationships in your life if it doesn't add anything to you? And now that you've learned this, and before possibly you were a pleaser in some way, and it allowed these people in to kind of try to dominate you and gaslight you. But you've learned this person, you learned their ways, this type of person, this type of dynamic, and you're not willing to do it again. This is advice. Why? By the book. This is someone who definitely has controlling aspects and tendencies, and they will use any means to kind of get what they want, because that's the most important thing for them, is to get what they want and what they want out of it. And if they have to triangulate with other people, they will. And it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And this is Mercury retrograde, so you're going to have people coming out of the woodworks. People that feel that they still have unfinished business with you and have a bone to pick with you. But the thing is, they could only come into your space if you allow them. They could only come into your space if you allowed them. And in the past, when you did allow them, they definitely hurt you. And you're not going to allow them to do so again. Ask yourself, why has this been a cycle that has happened a lot within your life? Definitely ask yourself why. If maybe you do attract a certain kind of person, or maybe it's something that you contribute to the situation that makes people think that your energy is at liberty for them. Do you accept things that you don't want to do in fear of hurting other people's feelings? Do you look over your own needs in favor of others for other people's needs and feelings? And when you betray yourself, does it automatically feel that does it give a message to the people around you and your relationships around you that it's okay for them to do that to you? Something to ask yourself, and to go within and ask yourself why. Why does it turn out the same? Why does it end up with the same type of dynamics? Maybe because you're dealing with the same type of people and you're continually letting the same person who screwed you over in the past to come in, and it ends up to be the same kind of thing. But the thing is, you have to sacrifice the things that you don't want in order to make room for the things that you do. Because perhaps you've had family members, friends, people that you thought was a good support, or your tribe, and it turns out those were the very people that you've put a lot of trust, emotion, and loyalty in, that they did not do the same for you. And regardless on their relationship or how they connect with your life, if they contribute with this to your life, then you're definitely better without, because it looks like these people have set you back in the past. Now, these people took away your focus a lot because you thought that you owed them, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know if you felt like you owed them. Maybe they felt like they owed you. Or they felt like you owed them. Yeah. Just like people who are entitled and feel like they should. Or maybe this was a dynamic you started with and then it just became a habit. And this is like a role that you accepted in your youth, and you kind of subconsciously drive back to it by ignoring your own wants and needs in favor of other people's wants and needs, in fear of hurting their feelings, a fear of being too polite, or maybe you're used to just being the fixer or the nurturer in all of the situations, and all it did was ever deplete you, and you thought it would give you back something energetic wise, but it didn't. It never did. So you don't go at a situation expecting if you give towards something, then you expect something back. If you give freely, but if definitely have limits. Only give what you can and no more. Give limits towards yourself and towards how much you would give to other people if you tend to be a giver. But you have to put limits on yourself, because when people are majority, they're takers, there's no limits to how much they would take from you. And perhaps there wasn't. Whoever's coming back in, they're trying to do the same, and they feel quite entitled to do so because they're upset at you now, that you're not continuing to give them what you want. But you're focusing on your own house and home. You're cleaning house, you're taking care of those that you know actually care about you, and who care about your own needs and feelings and successes as much as you would care for theirs. And if they're not the tribe that you came into this earth with, then you have no problem cutting them out and making space for new. And I feel like there is people that you will come into your life that will resonate with you a lot more. And even if you don't, you're going to definitely stop rejecting yourself and your own needs, and realize that you don't owe anybody anything in order for them to hang out with you. And you shouldn't have to overwork or step on your own needs and feelings. And if you don't express your own feelings and thoughts, then ultimately it'll end up the same type of cycle as it was in the past. But we're trying to grow past this and be more aware of who you keep into your life and who you put energy in, because you're starting a new life. You're ready to build a new life with a new paradigm, a new cycle. You're feeling lighter and more at peace. Things are happening behind the scenes. This is the primordial egg of the universe, and it is fertilizing and to be born into something anew, developing into something new. Be observant to the signs and the symbols that universe is trying to send you, and of the people that try to enter your space. And keep working. Don't let these people on the outside take your focus away. And if you continue to deal with the same person or the same type of people, you're going to continue to come into the same kind of issues. And if it's not just the same kind of people, it's also the same way that you react towards people in your space. It's time for you to put work in onto your own dreams, your development, your goals. Something is going to be coming in for you. As long as you put in the work. This is something that is spiritual based. You are trying to grow spiritually, trying to learn about yourself and about the world around you. And you're trying to put structure and organization back into your own life, and you are trying to have your own stronger sense of self, that you'll have a lot less need to deal with people who have proven to be unloyal. Be careful of this King of Swords in the reverse coming in. he or she is pissed and they have a few words for you, and you are not giving them the fuel that they want, and they want to come in and make a lot of conflict and distract you from what you've got going on because they feel you leaving them. But that's why they're coming back around, because they feel you leaving them. And it's time for something better and new, because there's a reason why you left this person, and it will be more of the same if you allow them into your space. But that's what I have for you, Saggy. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and donation box below if you feel moved to do so. And lots of love to you.